Well, as we head towards closure this morning, and once again, Salam Media, we are excited because another project of Salam Media, our Global Voices campaign, we've had Dr. Aafia Siddiqui twice in South Africa, but for the very first time in the our quest and our campaign to bring Dr. Aafia Siddiqui home, we will be bringing together with Dr. Aafia Siddiqui, the lawyer for Dr. Aafia Siddiqui, and many of us will recall the case of Aafia Siddiqui, kidnapped with her kids, tortured, shot, mistreated for over 20 years in prison, sentenced to 86 years in prison as well. And the purpose is twofold. Is one to continue with the campaign and to continue with the pressure and to continue raising awareness on the plight of Afia Siddiqui, but also an update as far as the case is concerned. And this is to keep us inspired to use whatever we have within our capacity, our power to try to help people like Dr. Afia Siddiqui who require our help. And I'm sure equally excited to come to South Africa is Clive Stafford Smith. Clive, good morning to you. I
Good
know it's
morning.
cold,
Good
it's
morning.
wet, it's miserable in the United Kingdom, but
Uh,
thank you for your time as always.
no, not at all. It's my great pleasure, and thank you so much for all of your support. And look, I've never been to South Africa, and to come there in the middle of our miserable winter will be a great pleasure.
Well, I'm sure you'll be coming to a very hot and warm South Africa, both in terms of the weather, in terms of the climate, but also the hospitality of the South African community. So, looking forward to having you here. As I mentioned, Clive, we are excited as part of our Global Voices campaign to have both you and Dr. Fozia visiting South Africa.
Right. Well, I mean, look, I'm really glad to be coming, and I'm very grateful to you all for your support for Afia. I hope to goodness that as we enter 2026, this is going to be the year that we get her out of that nightmare. And there are various things that I'm going to be asking you all for help on. I've been negotiating with the US attorneys in the Southern District of New York to try and get them to do the right thing. They're being way more reasonable than many people. And I'm rather hoping that they're very, very busy at the SDNY trying to prosecute Mr. Maduro, who got kidnapped recently from Venezuela, and that they'll let Afia go. But one thing that actually I'd love you guys to consider is this: we need a country that can take Afia. She can't go to Pakistan. I mean, honestly, the Pakistan military and establishment there is tearing the country apart. They've been utterly useless when it comes to supporting Afia. But it did occur to me that since Donald Trump, and I'm American, right? So I do apologize to you all on behalf of the entire United States. But since Donald Trump thinks that the only people who should get asylum are white people from South Africa, which anyone with a sense of history will just have to laugh, I did think that perhaps South Africa would be one of the countries willing to take Afia. Wouldn't cost them anything. We'll fund her entire healthcare. She really needs, desperately needs, hospital treatment that she's not getting in America. But one thing I hope we can talk about when I'm in South Africa is whether we can come up with a plan that she could perhaps come to South Africa when we get her out. So that put that on your agenda if you would, Isabel.
Well, certainly. In fact, Clive, I've actually, over the years, being part and parcel of the Free Afia movement and the campaign in South Africa, there are many South Africans that have actually made this very suggestion that you are making at this point in time. And I'm sure South Africans would be very, very open to something like this because they do hold Afia very, very close to their hearts as well. We've seen the overwhelming responses that Dr. Fozia had during her tours to South Africa as well. And, humanitarians that we are here in South Africa, I'm sure that shouldn't be an issue. The key and the most critical issue is I'm sure that you will be bringing a lot of updates. And I recall you and I speaking, I think, earlier on in December, where you mentioned that her matter will be reviewed. You've handed over your case, your documents, and towards the end of the year, we would get some sort of response. Just any progress on that particular matter and your last trip to the US.
Well, they haven't responded yet, which I take as a good thing, actually, because they had promised me a response by New Year's Day. And, you know, I wasn't overwhelmingly optimistic they were going to do the right thing, but we had a very constructive meeting in New York. And I like to think, I hope, that I was able to persuade them that some of their concerns were just misplaced. We've had a very tumultuous Christmas because some of our witnesses for Afia, who are based here in Britain, are incredibly important. And one is an ISI, a retired ISI senior officer, who's given us an affidavit about what they did, the ISI. And, you know, the Pakistan intelligence agency is not terribly happy about that. Another is a former politician under Imran Khan, who gave us a lengthy deposition about all the criminality that the Pakistan establishment engaged in Afia's case, which from what I can now prove includes trying to murder her, for goodness sake. So in response to some of that, what's been shocking over Christmas is that goons sent by the Pakistan government have attacked one of my witnesses twice. The first time they sent someone who broke his nose as he rang the doorbell and opened the door. The second time, we caught him on CCTV firing a gun 3 times through his front window. Now, obviously, we got the British police all over those people. But this is what's going on. I mean, the idea that instead of doing the right thing, the Pakistan establishment is trying to kill my witnesses, and they've already managed to kill at least one of them, it's just shocking. And it's something to bear in mind with Dr. Dr. Fauzia, because she's come under immense pressure and threats. They've dropped dead bodies outside her house. They've mailed her bullets. They've abducted her with a hood over her head a couple of times. This woman is amazing and really courageous, but it's much harder on her than it is, me and I'm an OPWM, an old privileged white male. They haven't come after me. I kind of wish they'd do it against me instead of against her. But there's a lot going on, and there's a lot of resistance from people who are basically not good people. Who are trying to cover up their crimes. And I've told them all along, I mean, we're not out to get you. I don't care. That's all ancient history. But you just can't interrupt us when we're trying to get justice for Afia.
Yes, Clive, now I've seen the dates from the 21st to the 26th of January. It's not much time. We're looking about 5 or 6 days, max as well. And I'm sure, we will try and do our best to make sure that you get maximum coverage, both you and Dr. Aafia Siddiqui, but also in terms of the value that both of you would bring to the tour, to our listeners, to our viewers, and to the South African public in general. And I'm sure you're hoping for that as well.
I am indeed. Look, I'd love to come on holiday to South Africa sometime, but this is not a holiday. I want you to work me incredibly hard while I'm there. I want to be busy the entire time. And because I'm very grateful to everything you're doing. And you folk in South Africa, the South African people, have been fabulous supporters of Afia. And I want to express my gratitude for that. But we'll hopefully get as much out there, as much of the information I've got. I've got so much stuff. I've got 1,000 pages of proof of what we've discovered for Afia on. I've been to Afghanistan 5 times, so we've got all sorts of really good stuff, and we got wonderful supporters around the world. Much as the West picks on the government of Afghanistan right now, they have been tremendously supportive in trying to get justice for Afia, because let's face it, half of the Taliban were in Guantanamo. So they really know what injustice can be. So we've had lots of allies, and I'm eternally grateful to all of them.
Well, Clive, we're certainly looking forward to your visit as well, and looking forward to meeting up with you as well. And I'm sure it's going to be well, both exciting, but also at the same time, as you mentioned, you will be bringing a wealth of information that you would be able to share as well with our listeners, with our viewers, with the public in general as well. And at this point in time, obviously, we are finalizing the program for your visit and Dr. Fauzia's visit as well. And we'll try and obviously maximize the reach as far as wide as possible as well, so that we can continue with the momentum that will obviously be built even after your visit in South Africa, and to continue with what the greater objective is and the bigger picture. But the key issue here is to bring Dr. Aafia Siddiqui home. And let's hope and pray that 2026 will be the year when this will be achieved.
Yeah, great. And let's work really hard on it. We can all sleep when we're dead. We don't need to sleep while I'm in South Africa.
Well, all the best to you, Clive.
Yeah.
Take care. And I know you deserve a nice, good cup of coffee. So we'll take leave of you. All the best.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Cheers. Clive Stafford Smith with us this morning, the lawyer of Dr. Aafia Siddiqui. And once again, as part of our campaigns and as part of humanitarian journalism, the case of Dr. Aafia Siddiqui, very, very close to our heart. Here at Salam Media, it's going to be a quick tour, it's going to be a short tour, but I'm sure it's going to be a very, very interesting, a very informative, highly informative tour, but more importantly, to inspire us to continue in our quest to seek justice against all forms of oppression. And we know that the oppression and the injustices that Dr. Afia Siddiqui has suffered in well over 20 years at this point in time, really, what can one actually say? Sometimes we cannot even describe the injustices and the oppression that this poor woman has had to undergo. So, looking forward to that, and I'm sure you, as our listeners, our viewers, and the South African public in general, looking forward to the tour of Dr. Afia Siddiqui's sister, Fauzia, and Clive Stafford, the lawyer. And with that, I'm going to be taking leave of you from myself and the team here at Salam Media. Have yourself a great Jummah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.